Back now. It's been 5 days since minorities have been facing persecution in Bangladesh. Houses, businesses have been targeted, places of worship vandalized, and many have been lynched. And yet their version has been completely disregarded and dismissed. The minorities are now forced to take to streets, not just in Dhaka but all across the world, perhaps because they know that there are forces who would want to downplay their pain, even whitewash if possible, and therefore they have to make themselves heard. After lakhs of Hindus came out across Bangladesh to protest against the ongoing attack, the community has also come together in various parts of the world in solidarity with the Bangladeshi Hindus. From US to Canada to the United Kingdom, there is only one plea: Hindu lives matter. Now, there are long queues of those seeking safety and shelter in India. However, even with the best of intention, that is completely not possible, as is seen in a viral video of a BSF officer pacifying a massive crowd trying to enter India. That has completely gone viral. The video, which was shot from a district on the Bangladesh side bordering the West Bengal Cooch Behar district, that shows hundreds of Bangladeshis standing chest deep in water in a wetland, asking the BSF officer to allow them to cross over, while the officer tries to explain in Bengali that they cannot be allowed. Look at that video. Well, this is as far as the Bangladesh Hindu attack is concerned. There have been massive protests in Bangladesh, UK, US and Canada against the attacks on Hindu. They all are demanding an end to attacks and atrocity on the minority Bengali Hindu community in Bangladesh. There have been protests in UK, Canada, United States and also in Bangladesh. That is because some businesses and homes owned by Hindus have been attacked. Thousands of Bangladeshi Hindus have been trying to flee to neighboring India to escape the violence and save their life as far as this is concerned. But we heard the reaction coming from the chief advisor of Bangladesh, Mohammed Yunus. He has asked if minorities are not the citizens of Bangladesh. This is a question that is asked to the countrymen. And in the last few days, we have also heard the reaction coming from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He has said that the safety of Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh should be ensured by the interim government. But we see that not just in Bangladesh, but all across the world. That includes UK, US and Canada. There have been massive protests, and their plea is just one, that Hindu lives matter. My colleague Sabyasachi continues to be live with us. Sabyasachi, there have been protests not just in Bangladesh but all across the world, and they are demanding justice. What they're demanding is that Hindu lives matter. Give us more details.
Well, absolutely. See, protest is not just taking place in Bangladesh, but protest is also taking place in the United States, United Kingdom and Canada as well, where several groups of minorities from Bangladesh are protesting, and they demand justice and swift action, and they want the violence to stop at Bangladesh. See, when it comes to Bangladesh, we had seen that several minority groups, whether it is the Hindus, Buddhists and Christians, all of them are out on the streets demanding justice from the interim government, asking the interim government to deliver on the promises that they had made, that the violence would be stopped. Despite the appeal coming in from the interim Prime Minister Mohammed Yunus, the violence is taking place in Bangladesh, where several Bangladeshi Hindus are trying to flee the country and enter India. See, at this particular time, the United Minorities Group from Bangladesh, in fact, have submitted a letter and report to the interim Prime Minister Mohammed Yunus, stating that till now around 205 incidents of violence has taken place in 52 districts, and Hindus are continuously being targeted despite the appeal coming in from interim Prime Minister Mohammed Yunus itself. So clearly the Bangladeshi minorities continues to suffer over there, as the violence is still continuing in the country, and they are appealing, whether it is to the interim government of Bangladesh or whether it is to the UN or the United Kingdom or to the White House. They are appealing that there should be foreign intervention in this matter, as the violence is continuously rising. People's homes are being ransacked, temples are being vandalized, as well as women are being kidnapped and raped. So at this particular time, they want some sort of intervention to take place so that the violence can stop in Bangladesh.
Saji, stay on with us now. Amid unrest in Bangladesh, Times now has in fact spoken to Sheikh Hasina's son, and he has made some revelations. He has gone on to say that there is a likelihood of US interference, and also going on to say that there's no law and order left in Bangladesh. Though this is what the son of Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, has said. Listen in. With unrest in Bangladesh, Times now has in fact spoken to Sheikh Hasina's son, and he has made some revelations. He has gone on to say that there is a likelihood of US interference, and also going on to say that there's no law and order left in Bangladesh. So this is what the son of Sheikh Hasina, the former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, has said. Listen in.
That is the unfortunate reality of Bangladesh. In the history of Bangladesh, there has been only one government that has kept the minorities safe, and that has been the Awami League government, and especially the government of Sheikh Hasina. During the regime of every other government, you've seen violence against the minorities, and that is what's happening, as well as there doesn't seem to be any law and order in Bangladesh at all right now. This government does not seem to have any control. The police are very demoralized because they were attacked by the protesters and blamed, and the protesters are demanding trial of police officers. So now the police basically have abandoned their post. The army and paramilitary forces are present in the Dhaka city, but outside of Dhaka, there is absolutely no law enforcement at all. So, the attacks are continuing on minorities, and many are trying to flee the border.
Yeah, what would be your message to the minorities in Bangladesh?
The minorities would be, my message would be to demand security, and also to demand a quick return of democracy, because if only there is election, and if the Awami League wins, that's the only way to secure the safety of the minorities in Bangladesh. This was going to be her last term anyway. My mother was planning to retire. She's 76 years old. So whether she will try to fight another election, I don't know. But she certainly wants to return to Bangladesh, because that is her home. And her dream was to retire to her village home in Tungipara. And so that's still what she wants. But in terms of elections, without elections, without democracy, and especially without the Awami League government, I don't think it's possible to keep the minorities safe in Bangladesh. She has not asked any government for asylum. She's not in touch with any government. The U.S. government took a direct stance against our government, calling our elections, that they were not free and fair, even though these were the most peaceful and most free and fair elections possibly in the history of Bangladesh. I'm not really part of the security apparatus, or I wasn't part of those conversations. But with regards to St. Martin, I've heard, over the years, I've heard rumors that they did want a base.
So you heard the reaction of Sheikh Hasina's son. He goes on to say that there could be US interference, and also saying that law and order situation in Bangladesh has gone out of hands. Thanking Sabyasachi for all the updates. We are taking a really short break. We'll be right back with more news and updates. Stay with us.